particular for the first responders that respond to things, keep us safe, and ask that you would please watch over them and bring them out of harm's way whenever they are unfortunately required to go into it. We thank you for this good country we have, that we can come together in a manner such as this, and ask that we would never take that for granted, and that you would watch over our country in times of today's election, and in all ways that we would remember the things that bring us together and not the things that drive us apart. And we thank you especially for those troops that make that possible, and ask again that you would bring them home safely to their loved ones. Ask that you please bless and keep the work of our hands and the meditation of our hearts, they may be acceptable in your sight. Thank you most of all for your Son. It's in His name. Amen.
Amen.
I want to send the pledge to the United States flag first.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you to everyone who's here for taking your time out to be here tonight. Again, like I said, I forgot to mention in my prayer, remember Yoli and Steve and what they're doing, what their issues are right now. Please, let's see, don't have anything for item number 4. Item number 5 is public testimony. Citizens are invited to speak on any topic or agenda item before and during the meeting by response to the mayor to be recognized. However, unless the item is on the agenda, specifically, the council is required under the Texas Open Meetings Act to limit our response with a statement of specific factual information, reciting the city's existing policy on the issue, or directing the person making the inquiry to visit with city staff about the issue. No council deliberation is permitted for topics not specifically on the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during public testimony? Come on up, give your name and your address for the record.
Thank you, Mayor, council members, and the assembled city workers who are here this evening. My name is Carl Dietrich. I live on 309 Winter Street, and we moved here to River Oaks, as you said in your invitation. My wife picked out 4 years ago, so we've lived here for 4 years, and one of the reasons is because I could walk here because she had the car to take the kids to the doctor, and because it is a representative government, as you noted during your invocation, and we obviously have elections tonight. So I want to speak on the topic of the River Oaks Community Center and our city's green space. I have come to understand, and it's a murky understanding, that the city is considering selling it if the conditions were all ideal, or if I don't know the specifics, though. So, however, I did see someone forwarded to me a post that Marvin had made somewhere, and so I appreciate that much sharing. But it's very unclear to me whether any analysis of our green space was done, or more importantly, what do we, as the city of River Oaks, that is us citizens and business owners that you mentioned, others want for our city. And so you're our representatives. You're our ones who should be hopefully having a dialogue so that the city comes to the decision that all of us as residents want. And to me, that's been, how are we doing? I've seen one, I don't even know where it is. Yeah, I didn't see anything on the back of my utility bill, and I know that it's not necessarily easy to get information out there, but there's a lot of different ages of residents, and to me it ought to be done in different venues. I also recognize that certainly anything dealing with real estate normally falls immediately to executive session. But there's obviously ways that you can have exceptions so that council members can discuss it with their constituency. I don't know if that's a motion during the executive session that we can discuss it up to this point, but not including, who we're speaking to, or who the potential buyers are, or who the real estate agents that we're talking to. Sure, we don't need to know that, but just the thought process behind it, the analysis that's been done. Wouldn't you want to share that? Don't you want to know what we as residents have as what we'd like to see for our city? Okay, so I just think that we could do a lot better on, one, being representative, and two, being transparent, in what's being done here. So I request that. Like I said, I don't know much of the green space that we have, so I'm kind of hesitant myself without knowing more information. I would also ask, well, what makes sense? Well, first, I'd ask, what do the residents want for their city? To me, that's the first factor. I understand that businesses that do sales are particularly interesting to the city because you guys get some money from the sales tax, you don't get money from property taxes. But if you look at 3 sides of our community centers, it's all residential. To me, that's, let's ask the residents what they think would be appropriate. Let's do that. I think the representative job that you're doing could be considerably better, and I'd ask that more effort be put forth. That's why you were elected. And I realize that you can't respond, as you already said, but I wanted to speak on this topic so that you could know my concerns and my suggestions.
Well, the only thing, and we can't get into a lot of the debate and stuff, but we can't say factual things, so as long as the attorney doesn't turn around and tell me to be quiet. It is, like you say, it is a process, and government doesn't work like a lot of things do, and it's sort of, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to us as much as it is to you. So, what I would say, where it is right now, we would still be getting citizen input. It's just, we're not to that stage yet. So it's not something where a decision's been made. It's not something where anything's going to happen without taking the input. It's just the first step of it is kind of like you say, real estate gets generally discussed in executive session, but then it winds up becoming something that will get, I think, plenty of input from the residents, not only the neighbors, like you being right adjacent to the property, but the entire town. So we'll certainly be getting input as we move on.
Thank you. Yes, I didn't say that. My understanding is that you're only in the exploratory phase.
Yes.
But to me, that's the phase in which you could be most open with, us other
You
citizens.
gotta find out if you've got any interest at all, which restrictions you put on it.
Yes.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Are you more interested in it remaining green space and something like that, or are you interested in a community center?
Well, I know that my kids and I went to the Halloween event a week ago or so. And we've gone to a concert there and other events there. I see it used a lot, as you point out. I live adjacent to it. I see the green space used a lot. The point, though, is that it's not just my decision, and I don't think it's just the city council's decision. I think it ought to be the city residents' decision, and I don't see that kind of dialogue going on. Does that make sense, Sam?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I would also agree with you, though, is this a trivial matter, whether or not we keep our community center in green space, or is it a more substantial matter? And I would say, Leanne, that it's a more substantial one, but and deserving of your dialogue as our representatives.
No, I think you bring up extremely good points, and you're right, that's